Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 493 at scavengerlife.com.
We should rename this podcast the Shipping Podcast. Because that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. We've never really talked this much about shipping on eBay, which is interesting because shipping is so much a part of...
It's a huge part of it. It's almost like so much of a part of it that you're like, well, what am I going to talk about? It's just a necessary part to figure out.
And the reason why we're talking about it is because, I think we take for granted how well the shipping in America works. The shipping system works.
I never take it for granted, just FYI. Never.
Me as an average American, we just forget, I want to send this to you across the country, 2,000 miles. Sure, I'll just stick it in a bag,
on Monday, and it should get there Wednesday.
Right.
Why? What?
And, if it's not, I'm going to get outraged, and, there are probably, 100 hands that have to touch that package in trucks and planes before it gets to you. So we're seeing what happens when that breaks down, and that is with the United States Postal Service.
USPS.
Having unprecedented issues. And it seems to be because COVID is wiping out, workers who they're getting sick. And,
so there's that. So COVID is wiping out people.
Right. Wiping out, maybe not killing, but wiping out
people are at home, people have to quarantine, whatever. And then everyone who is staying home and not shopping at big stores are shopping online. Right. And it's the holiday. It's like the perfect storm.
It is, yeah. This is just, it really is funny when everyone's making fun of, in a dark way, how 2020 is so crazy. It's just where all these things are happening at the same time, at the worst possible moments.
Right.
So a lot of sellers that we know on our forum say they're putting their store either on vacation or on time away. To try and give themselves more time. So they're extending their handling time. So they're adding 15 days of handling time so their packages
so people
won't be
can't
to
say anything.
Although I did see that when people were saying they would put their store on time away, which basically gives them more handling time, that eBay was still showing that the item needed to be shipped by a certain date. So I don't know if that
weird.
Was exactly.
I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know.
But for us, we have not changed.
I'm just shipping.
We're selling and shipping as normal, and
I have a 3-day handling time.
Right. As we have the past year. I think for the longest time, we were always same day. In quotes,
same day. Up until 9 a.m. or whatever.
And we decided to just add 3-day handling time because really the same day was to try and get the top-rated seller discount where they give you, for a long time it was 20%
which is a lot.
Your final value fees. And then they changed it to 10%. And it just stopped. If anyone from eBay is hearing this,
it stopped mattering.
Yeah, there
wasn't
carrot,
an incentive.
Right. The carrot to ship quickly has gone
I was
away.
And also, everybody hears on this podcast every week, we have a lot of stuff going on. So giving me 3 days on big, heavy, delicate items is helpful. I'll ship those shoes and those T-shirts and those whatever as fast as possible. But when there's a vase that's 20 inches high made of glass, God help me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that tonight when I have 45 minutes,
So going back to shipping, a week ago we were kind of complaining. We were voicing everyone's complaint about how eBay, though it's not their fault that shipping is late.
Yeah.
They're part of the process, and they weren't helping us explain to buyers what's going on.
Well, it's really funny because we were talking to Phil, one of our partners in the coffee business, and obviously he's a part of this madness of USPS. People are contacting him. He's looking at tracking, and he's had friends of his be like, "How come my stuff isn't getting here?" And he's like, "Guys, this is the craziest time. It's unprecedented because normal people aren't in this every day."
Right. Yeah, I was just assuming this was going to be a story on the local news, like it's wherever normal people get their news.
And it is now, I think, but some people aren't listening.
Fine. So eBay is finally stepping in. So starting December 16th, they put out like a blog post. We can link to it. But it says, for items in transit, we are keeping cases open for 10 more days from the time a buyer asks eBay to step in and allow additional time for item to be delivered. This is, okay, so, and I say, this is big. So
this is huge.
And once a buyer opens an item not received case in INR, we have 10 days to hope that the item is delivered. So
10 days, huh?
So, buyer can only, and here's the deal. So, there were some brand new people, or they seem brand new to the forum, who were like, it hasn't gotten there in 4 days. The buyer's complaining, should I just give them back their their cash? And I'm like, no. Like, this is how it works. I mean, there's a process here. A buyer can only open an item not received request after the estimated delivery date has come.
Okay, right.
Plus one more day after that. So if it's supposed to come on like December 10th on a Tuesday,
right,
they have to wait till Wednesday to actually open that case. When that request is made, the seller, us, has 3 business days to respond before the buyer can to ask eBay to step in. So our thing is just like slow everything down.
Yeah, slow everything
down.
down.
You don't have to immediately say anything. You have 3 business days. So that means if they contact you on a Friday, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday don't count. Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday.
So again, our point is not to like be rude to people. It's just to slow things down. Then, if the tracking on the item shows movement within the past 10 calendar days and the parcel is in the destination country,
right,
eBay will keep the request open for 10 more days from the time the buyer asks eBay to step in to allow additional time. So eBay...
That's very helpful.
So eBay is understanding, and they're giving 10, and I guess it's 10 calendar days, After that, if there's no updated activity, eBay will consider the item lost and will ask the seller to refund the buyer. So it doesn't keep us off the hook totally, but the whole point is to give time.
The thing that I've been seeing is, that it's super random. Like this is what's frustrating. I have stuff that I shipped a couple days ago that got delivered media mail to California.
Right.
What? So I have priority mailboxes going to the next state over to West Virginia that are like either sitting at my post office or sitting at our sorting facility.
So my question is that still for boxes sent in the past week or is this just okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So for eBay, I've noticed a lot of my stuff has been delivered. The stuff from the last, I would say, 7 days, like 7 days total, not business days, are some stuff's just sitting. I shipped some Christmas presents up to Massachusetts. They haven't left Richmond. This was like on the 10th.
But at the end of the day, everything is eventually getting...
Yes. So I don't think things are lost.
So we have not, because, we've been complaining about this, we as in the general population,
everyone,
since like after Thanksgiving. So it's been almost a month.
Yes.
We have never declared anything lost, right?
No.
So everything eventually is getting there.
It's just slow. And, obviously it's a bummer because, people are buying Christmas ornaments from me and I'm like, this is not going to get there. Like, just so you know.
That's like
this is next year's Christmas. Well, what's hilarious is I've been seeing people online too say this, and I've said this too. It's like, it's a New Year's present, like, and I even laugh. I'm like, well, hopefully you get it by New Year's. Yeah. Then it'll be a Valentine's Day present.
So, so here's the way I'm reading eBay's blog post about timing. Okay. So day 1, the buyer buys the item and eBay says it's going to be delivered in 5 days.
Right.
Okay. So day 5 comes, they can't do anything, the buyer. It hasn't gotten there. They have to wait a day.
Day 6.
Right. So day 6, they can open a case to say, my item hasn't come.
Yes.
Okay. We have 3 business days to respond to that.
When you say respond, it means
like put your tracking.
Put in your tracking, which again on the forum we talked about. It's crazy. eBay has your tracking.
Right. But you have to like put the tracking in and prove to eBay, I shipped it and it's on its way. And so, so you have 3 business days. So that could be 3 calendar days. It could be 5 calendar days, depending on where it is.
Depending on when it is.
So. And then if you can, and let's be clear here too, if you can calm the buyer down, you can keep that clock ticking
for a while.
Because until the buyer actually says, eBay, I want you to get involved now.
Yes. Because they can let it sit for 45 days or whatever.
Right. So that's what a lot of people on the forum are doing, is they've kind of built these emails that try to explain, we're so sorry.
Yes.
Empathize.
Yes.
Because it's we all empathize with buyers, but we're like, it's not our fault.
Right.
We're trying. I'm calling the post office. I'm keeping track on the tracking. If you can calm them down, that then stops the clock. Yeah. But then when the buyer says, eBay, I want you to get involved. Yeah. So now eBay's like, okay, where's this item? They're giving you another 10 days.
Which is great.
Before they do anything. So basically, even if a buyer is super unhappy and impatient, you have 20 days at the minimum for that item to get to where it needs to go.
And hopefully that is happening.
And so far we have seen our packages are getting to people within 20 days.
The longest I've seen has been from the day I shipped it, like 15 or 16 days. Right. Which is insanity, but it has moved. So
that's kind of the thing for me. The way I'm reading this, we have from the second we ship it from our house. Yeah, eBay's giving us a minimum of 20 days without eBay like getting mad at us. Yeah, so coming down from the mountain.
Yeah, striking us down with lightning.
Yeah, so that's the deal.
It's helpful, and also. When you look at as a buyer, I also buy stuff on eBay, as I've always said. And I looked at tracking on my purchase page, and there is a big banner that says whatever. It's like shipping delays are being experienced. Please be patient. Right. And USPS, big banner on the top.
Tell me this. So a lot of buyers, I think, don't know where to find the tracking or don't look at the tracking, don't understand the tracking. If you have a bit of a hack, right? When somebody starts complaining, you take their email address and you put it into the USPS website. Right. So tracking information gets sent to them.
So what I did, this actually happened before Thanksgiving. So whatever I started, so actually last night at literally 3:00 in the morning, I was like, I'm just going to look at the tracking for like the last 2 months of all my packages, which I did.
Real quick, does that make you calmer at 3:00 in the morning, or are you doing that? It
puts me right to sleep.
You're in high alert. Okay.
It's like a nice thing to be like, okay, now I'm going back to sleep. But I was thinking, when did I start seeing delays? I started seeing delays in certain parts of the country before Thanksgiving. So I was shipping a pair of boots to someone in Oklahoma. And it started getting stuck like halfway there. And it took about, like I was saying, 15 to 16 days to get there. So he had opened an item not received case. But what I did was I tried to calm him down. I was like, it's definitely on its way. It made movement yesterday. It's just been taking a while. He paid, obviously, for the cheapest. He paid for parcel. So what I did was I took it's like an anonymized email address that they do now on eBay. If you're in managed payments, it's like member 1679 blah, blah, blah at ebay.com. It's kind of like Craigslist. So I took that email address. I put it into USPS email tracking, and I'm like, email this person every time there's movement. And then for the name, I put, combat boots from eBay. You could even put the item number or something. And so he was getting emailed every time there was movement, just so he knew, So I've been doing that for other people when they've asked. We've only had one. I don't even think we've had anyone else. Oh, the pants person. They were the pants person. So they were upset, and then their stuff started moving that morning. And I had done that email thing too, where they were getting updates. And of course, they opened a return.
Right. So
I was like, this person's returning these, no doubt.
We're going to skip to it, but yeah, the buyer was very angry. The item didn't get to him exactly when it said it did. Right. We gave him a deal, he got it, and then he sent it back because they didn't fit him. So.
I'm like, fine, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so on a more positive note,
yes,
Simon on the forum, who is newly retired.
Yes,
congratulations. He says, is anyone else enjoying the subtle but helpful change in the single label shipping flow on eBay? I won't have any idea what this means, but let's see if you do. When I press a button to create a shipping label, I'm now seeing the print options come up immediately instead of having to click and print button, see the label, and printing off the PDF print button. It saves a couple of clicks, which is nice since I go through that flow numerous times each day. Do you understand that?
I think it depends on what browser you're in, what OS you're on, because I noticed that Firefox, one of the newest versions of Firefox is Firefox 81 if you're a nerd. They started their own print preview dialog, which Chrome had forever, but now Firefox has it. Thank God. I've been waiting forever to have a print preview dialog in Firefox. Thank you to everyone at Mozilla. And that might be it that he's talking about. I don't know if he's on Chrome or Firefox.
I don't know.
Or something else.
Check it out.
So that might be why.
Okay. And then Antique Frog says, and again, I won't know this, but maybe you will. eBay started sticking a code like eBay K3ZRQT between the buyer street address and the town. He says, I don't know the purpose of that, but I edit the label to move it someplace else.
Antique Frog is in the UK.
Yeah, maybe it's a UK thing.
I've never noticed that, but I will look on my shipping labels. I wonder if it's somewhere else in the US, because obviously if he and or she is shipping Royal Mail, those labels are totally different than USPS. I don't even know what that looks like. Yeah, good question. What is that code for? Yeah, who is reading that code?
Yeah, I don't know if that's... Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
And then someone else was asking this, and I always try to answer questions about shipping even though I don't do it.
You always forward me, you're like, go answer this.
Someone was asking, on eBay labels, can first class be over 13 ounces? Is it 15 ounces? Okay.
It's up to a pound.
Really?
It's what you can say 16 ounces, which is a pound.
Somebody was saying that they were trying to, print a label and it was telling them 13 ounces. And I looked on the USPS website, I guess just for normal plebes. It's 13 ounces. It's just commercial. That's
commercial online e-commerce.
So eBay has not changed that.
Nope.
That we know.
Now, if you're having someone else was asking about label issues this week, where they're like, I try to ship a label on eBay and it just says, "Oops, something went wrong."
Right.
And you're like, "Great, I have to ship this out right now. What's going on?" So if you're having a problem with that 13 ounce thing, try to ship a label on PayPal. It's whatever, Google it. It's like PayPal shipping label, like paypal.com/shipping label create or whatever. Even if you don't have money in there, you probably have a card attached to that. Or use something like Pirate Ship, which you would connect a credit card with, or something like Shippo. So it's goshippo.com, which we use for Broad Porch coffee stuff. So it's really helpful to have a secondary place to get labels, because when eBay is being weird and you're like, I have to do this right now and I don't want to wait till tomorrow and I have to get this out, go to your other place, because I had problems with media mail on eBay where they're like, this isn't a book. And you're like, cool. Yeah, it is. Whatever. It's being quirky. Right. So I go into Pirate Ship and there's a little click box for like extra services. And that's where your media mail is. And you're like, okay. I've sold a lot of books in the last 2 weeks for some reason.
Are you in love with Pirate Ship?
I like Pirate Ship a lot, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
I like it as an alternative. I like the putting stuff in polymailers and getting a polymailer rate. That's helpful. Yep. It's not always. Like, it depends on where it's going. It depends on the size. It depends on the weight, of course. Yep. There are times where just a regular 8x8x8 box is more expensive than eBay. Right. I don't know why. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's great to just make labels. Like, I had to ship, one of our renters at an Airbnb left their computer charger. Going to take 17 days to get there. They live in the same state as us, but I did ship it. So I created a label that way, you know, so that's nice.
Cool.
I like it.
All right. How often are you checking Pirate Ship and it turns out it's not the right? 50-50?
How often is it not the right? I would say 75% of the time, honestly.
It's not the right, or
it's not cheaper.
It's more expensive. Gotcha.
Or it's the same price, so I'll just do it on eBay.
Yeah. Cool.
But there are those times, I would say 25 to 30% of the time where I'm like, oh, that's a better rate.
I mean, look, we have no...
Which is great.
I have no connection to Pirate Bay or
Pirate Bay. Either Pirate Bay or Pirate Ship.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to sell this. It's just people have been talking about it so much.
It's nice to have a choice.
What's the most amount of money we have saved on Pirate Ship?
I think on some of the bulkier... I had a couple bulky things.
Like going to California.
Yeah, like going to California. I would say $5.
Okay. $5. That's $5.
That's a lot of money.
That's like a Whopper combo.
On a shipping... How would you know that? How do you know the price of a Whopper combo? You're going to Burger King?
Burger King. Okay, let's talk about our numbers this week. We sold 38 items.
That is the weirdest number.
Which is less. 39. We sold like 52 items last week. So,
I think people are like, I'm done shopping and nothing's getting to me anyway.
And I only bring this stuff up. I mean, some people get really obsessed by these numbers and they're looking for...
This is a ballpark, y'all.
They're looking... Well, it's not a ballpark.
It's the number.
It's the exact number, but people are trying to find like reasons, and it's just, it's whatever it is. We are...
Okay.
I mean,
it is whatever it is.
Thank God. Yeah. We used to waste so much time on the forum where people would look for reasons why their numbers are up or down, and they weren't trying to think of the normal, like, oh, people have bought all their Christmas stuff. They're like, eBay is like hiding my store. eBay is doing this thing to me, and thank God we've kind of gotten rid of that talk.
That mentality, yeah.
Anyway, so it's 38 items. Hey, 38 items.
I love 38 items.
Our gross sales, $1,290.47.
There were not very many...
Not including shipping.
There were not very many high dollar items.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah. And the good thing for us, the reason why that number works for us is because our cost of items sold was about $100. It was about $107.
Right.
And that's why our numbers work for us each week, is because we don't really pay a lot for these 38 items. You know? And if our cost of items was like, $800, then we're not making a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah.
As is, we're doing okay.
COGS.
Cost of goods sold, right?
COGS.
And our average selling price was about $33.95. Because
there were a lot of little, like, a t-shirt for $15. I'm like, yes, I'll take $15. Right. Oh, a pair of tights for $9.
I mean, so our most expensive item we sold was a Christmas ornament for $120.
Love that
And
price.
Then we sold another ornament for $23.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, one was truly vintage and one was a vintage repro.
Yeah. We sold a pair of snow boots for $85.
Yes.
That's a kind of item that I get nervous about because I don't know anything about snow boots. And
what kind of snow boots were they?
They're like, I don't know, they were like alpine, the kind that clip into.
Oh, they're not snow boots. They're cross-country ski boots.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that not a snow boot?
Well, you use them in the snow, but they're like for cross-country skis. They definitely sold to someone in Maine. Right. So and we bought them in New Hampshire.
Right.
So, yeah, like, look, I grew up in New England, so I'm like, yep, these are great. Like, they're vintage, but they're usable.
I think they'll work. Go for it.
Well, Jay's so funny. So it snowed here in Virginia this week, and most of the Northeast, as everyone who lives there knows. And Jay's so funny because he's from Texas, and he's always like, I'm from Texas. I don't know how much snow is a lot of snow. Is 12 inches a lot of snow? I'm like, for Virginia, yes. Like, people are not going to, like, schools are closed. Jay's calling, like, local town offices to make appointments for things, and I'm like, dude, they're closed. Like, you don't understand. This is like Snowmageddon, 12 inches.
We know people who live in like Nebraska.
Yeah, they're like, what?
South Dakota.
You guys are babies. 12 inches.
12 inches is like Monday for us.
They're like, just get in your car.
We sold a Dansk, like a stock pot, for $75.
Dance Coben style. Beautiful. Yep. This is the exact pot. It's not the exact one, but the exact style that I gave to my brother and his wife when they got married. Because it's gorgeous.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, this is worth a wedding present.
And this is a good example of like stuff like 5-10 years ago I would have just flown off the shelf and you could sell it for a lot
of money.
Now I think Dansk now they reissued
I think they make
them.
It again.
Everyone is looking for them to sell them, and
ours is all from the 70s and it's banged up.
So the fact that we got
stained,
$75 is good. But when I still buy them to resell, but they're often very expensive at auctions and and they don't sell very fast. And then we sold a couple books for $40.
Books, man. Yep. Like I'm all about that media mail. Yeah. I'm like, media mail, big heavy set of books, going to Texas the other day.
Yep.
Great.
Scavenge of the week.
Do we scavenge?
Nothing. So this is a good example of how we run our store. Large inventory. I haven't talked about it in a while, but we have 7,691 individual items in the store.
So it's almost up to 8,000 again.
So that big inventory allows us to not go out and shop and list
for a while,
for a period of time. Because we're in a period of time where we're really working on this coffee shop business. So other than shipping, for the most part, eBay's just kind of like going.
Yeah, I am listing. Like I have literally a backlog of 160 items that I need to list. Every day I try to list like 5 items, but we've been so busy with other stuff.
But the good news is there isn't like a fire under you. Like sales will happen regardless.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to get through that backlog, but it's slow.
And we still have 10 boxes of items I had bought at several auctions earlier in the pandemic that we still have not put up. So Anyway, so we have plenty. It's all good. Everything's going according to plan.
And we can shape our businesses to however we need them to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's honestly my theme of today because I have like 17 things for 3, 4, 5 different businesses that I have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
You love it.
You love it. You love it. I'm like, well, I'll get done what I can get done. And there are certain things that are in front of the list more than others.
All right. So I'm going to bring up a very sensitive topic here, and we're going to try and get through this together.
Okay.
Customer issues.
Yes.
We had a buyer in Canada buy 3 items from us.
Oh,
3 individual items. And they were nice items, and it was a lot of money. And we use global shipping. People love it, hate it, whatever. We do it just because it protects us and it's fine.
Especially right now.
eBay will not let us combine items in global shipping. So I don't blame the buyer. The buyer's like, I'm not going to pay individual shipping for each one. Just give me a whole thing. So I don't know, Ryan. I was just like, well, just like send it to them, whatever, first class.
No,
or
not
whatever.
Now.
Or send, okay.
I'm getting upset.
I would just like send it to them priority, but like do it in a way where we can just combine it. And then too much time happened, and then she didn't pay, and so the items got canceled. And then we like made a listing of all three together, and we were like, just buy this one thing and we'll ship it all to you. And she was so confused, like we were trying to scam her. Like, I already bought it.
She didn't. Okay, number one.
That money's no longer.
Number
gone.
one. This lady, she bought 3 things total.
Right.
The first 2 things she bought, she sent us offers and we accepted. She didn't pay. She didn't message us. She had an unpaid item case opened against her. And she's like, this person is either doesn't understand the internet, doesn't know how to buy things on the internet, even though she has a bunch of feedback. She's like, oh, I didn't even know I hadn't completed my purchase. Please send a combined invoice.
Yep.
I explained to her over and over again. And then, so she's not listening to any of my messages. She's like, oh, I want this other thing. Buys it. Doesn't buy it. Sends an offer, I accept. Great. I have 3 things I need to get to you. Send me a combined, because it's the same thing over and over. I'm like, I'm canceling all of these. I'm canceling them. Some of them have already gone away because she didn't pay because of the unpaid item case, right? And then I'm like, I bundled these in a custom listing for you.
Right.
It's going to have combined shipping. It's going to be fast international shipping, blah, blah, blah. Crickets.
Yep.
What do you do?
Yep.
People are like crazy.
Yep. I mean, the answer is eBay should have a way.
Yes.
For those of us that still use global shipping, just to combine orders.
Or allow me to... So the hard thing is even if she put them all in her cart and paid for them somehow through global shipping, it's hard for me to give her a discount on shipping because I don't know how much the international portion was and how much, like, that money never comes to me. Well,
that might be the reason why eBay won't combine a shipping, because they don't know. I mean, if someone buys like a bow and arrow and then like a book, they're like, we don't know how to combine this together. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
that was under customer issues. That was an issue. And
I've also had a similar thing happen recently where someone wants 2 similar items for a certain price, including shipping. And I'm like, fine. And I make a custom listing and then they buy it. It's great. There was another lady who wanted 4 different items. I bundled a listing for her, 4 different items, did the combined shipping because I was like, I don't know how else to do this. And then she wanted an even cheaper price. And I said no. So I ended the listing and relisted everything. Yeah. I'm just like, no.
Right.
I'm relisting everything.
Yep.
So that's kind of annoying when you kind of bend over backwards to do something and they're like, oh, I want a cheaper price. I'm like, no, this is as cheap as I can do it. Yep. So those are some annoying customers because... You know, that mid-century modern stuff going to Canada was $130. Yep. I'm like, lady.
I know. Out of my pocket.
Well, you should have called her up on the phone and explained it to her.
Okay, let's take the comments or questions that people sent in this week.
Okay. You can call our voicemail line, which several people did. The phone number is 540-407-8486. Or you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. This is Jason in Kansas. Love your guys' show. Appreciate everything you do. The USPS is really going up in flames right now, and I wondered if you had considered just sending via FedEx and to get there a little bit quicker. Just a thought. Another thing is I've been ordering your coffee. It's really, really great. Last time I ordered, I left a big, long note to seller about how to leave a product review. On some products on eBay, there's a button that says leave a review, and I can't find it on your coffee. I was wondering if you knew how to add a button like that to a product that you're selling in quantity and have a lot of. There's something you might want to consider looking into. I don't drink coffee. I can't stand it. But my mom drinks coffee, and I buy it for her. And it's one of the few pleasures that she has in her old age, and her eyes really light up every time she gets a bag. So thanks again for everything you do. Keep up the great work, and I'm really looking forward to see what kind of party you guys throw for episode 500 coming up really soon. Have a great day, and happy selling.
Okay, so number one, yeah, Ryan, other people have asked that. Why don't we just ship FedEx or a UPS?
It's more expensive.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is I find that FedEx, because they are a private company, they can pick and choose when they pick up from us at our house.
Right.
There is a drop-off in town. There was not a drop-off for a long time in our town for FedEx.
It just happened, right?
Yeah, like there was a little box you could put it in. You're like, my box doesn't fit in there.
Ballpark it for me. Let's say shipping to California is going to cost $10 on the post office.
Yep.
How much is FedEx?
$35.
See, that's crazy.
I swear to you.
No, I believe it. So I don't know why people are asking these questions. Like, yeah, sure. Like, let's do overnight FedEx. That's great, but it's going to cost you. Like, if people want to pay that.
Someone on YouTube said, this is a funny comment. They were like, oh, I ordered some coffee from another company, and they used a shipping company called OnTrack, TRAC. And so I looked it up. It's only in the western part of the United States. I compared a 12-ounce package for USPS, which is about $5 first class, to an on-track package of the exact same size going from California to Washington State. It was $35.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's literally no way. I don't know how they did. I don't understand.
Someone paid $35 to ship coffee.
The other thing about FedEx that I find, and I've read horror stories on Reddit, on flipping and wherever, is that even, and on our forum, sometimes even if you put the precise measurements of the box, FedEx is like, no, upcharge, $25 extra upcharge, and you can't fight it.
Right.
I've had USPS be like, this was off by 2 ounces, or this was off by an inch. You owe $1.50, and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, maybe that's true. Or I'll appeal it and I'll say, I know for sure this was in a X size box. And I just get nervous about FedEx for those reasons.
I mean, I think that is my issue with people that rage against the post office.
Yes.
And it's like, whatever, let's privatize it. It's going to be better. I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know. FedEx, I guess, is better. I guess that they're more organized. But what I've read is that what happens for them is that FedEx, that they pick and choose what they want.
Yes.
And then they dump off the last mile deliveries that are a pain in the butt to the post office. That's why you have, what is it called? FedEx Home, or what's it?
FedEx Smart Post.
Smart Post, you know. So it's kind of like with internet,
Right.
In this country. We decided a long time ago to privatize the internet system. And if you live in an urban area, it might be good. You get like fiber. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good for you. But those of us in the country, in rural areas, Comcast, for instance, just will decide we don't want to go to this area because we don't make enough money there.
Yeah, so you don't get internet.
Yeah. And so I think it would be the same thing if you were to blow up the post office. You would either have areas that you couldn't get postage because it's just too expensive, or it would just be really, really expensive,
Look, we had someone pick up a piece of furniture from Craigslist one time from DC. Like, they came to DC and got a bed from us, and they were like, it's so pretty out here. Do you guys get, like, Amazon? Like, does Amazon deliver out here? And it's just so funny because you're like, yes, like, of course they do. Through through everything, FedEx and UPS, and it's just hilarious how people think it is like that, because of course they think that.
So that's our rant.
And here, so Jason is one of the people who said, I don't drink coffee, but my mom loves coffee. So he's been ordering coffee from us. And I do apologize because any packages going to Kansas, I've been tracking them. He got some of his coffee and some more of his coffee is delayed. So, thank you for ordering coffee. I appreciate it.
So we sell coffee through broadporchcoffee.com.
Yes.
That's a little
It's a
little ad there. But we also have an eBay store. So
we do have an eBay store.
Thank God people said, you should put Broad Porch in the title. So now if you just go to eBay and if you search Broad Porch Coffee, you'll see our thing. So people can't give us reviews?
Well, they give us feedback.
Oh, he's talking about different.
Like, you know, when you buy like an iPod,
right?
They're like,
4
rate
stars.
this item. I just have to look into that. So our Broad Porch account on eBay is not a store; it's just individual listings. So I don't know if that's something or if the item has to have a UPC. I'm not sure exactly what it entails, but I will look it up just to see.
Hi, this is Nicole. Just wanted to call because you've been talking a lot about shipping and just wanted to know how you're handling insurance claims now that USPS is making the buyer bring in the broken item and the packages. I've had some issues. I double boxed an item and it got a stress factor and the United States Postal Service denied it. So I just wanted to know how that was going for you, how you're handling it. I think your listeners would appreciate what your input is. Thanks. Bye.
Good question.
I haven't had to file a claim at USPS in the last few months.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Ryan. I'm going to be the interviewer. How often do you have to make a claim to the post office? 3 times a year?
Yeah, like a few times a year.
How often have they said, we need the item, bring it to us?
It was one time, actually. And
one time in your entire life?
I would say maybe a couple times, but it was one time recently.
Mm-hmm. And they said, well, bring us the item and then we'll make a decision. And what'd you say?
So it was a weird situation. The woman sent me a photo.
The buyer.
Yeah, sorry. The buyer was like, oh, this was chipped. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna it was a cheap item. It was a little sugar bowl. I was like, whatever. I'll try to claim insurance to help with this. And they were like, you need to...
Postal Service.
Yeah, the Postal Service sent me a paper letter saying you need to give us this item. And
where would you need to take it?
I don't know. Well, so the problem was she had the item. I don't want it back.
Well, no. I mean, look, we understand the problem.
I don't know the answer.
That's what she's okay.
I don't know.
So anyway, it only happened once, and then
I don't know.
And then you just threw up your hands and just.
I just gave her her money back and was like, this is such a cheap thing, and I literally don't have time.
But I'll interview myself.
I guess if it were a more expensive item, I would go to the post office and be like, what do I do here? You know, talk to them and appeal it. So
for me, my experience is it seems like this is a very arbitrary system. Like in our coffee business, we sent like 4 pounds of coffee to a guy. It didn't get there on time and it was like stuck. And then we sent it priority and we put in a post office claim.
That was lost,
and they sent us a check like the next week. Like they didn't ask us anything. I mean,
I provided.
I guess that's not a broken item.
It was a lost item.
That was, I guess, my fault. That's not exactly what she's talking about. That was a lost item. But we have had other broken items in the past 6 months where we've made a claim and they've just given us a check. You know, so I don't know the answer. We're not. Helpful there, probably.
Yeah, so I've had to do an insurance claim for a broken lamp through ShipSaver. ShipSaver, is that what it's called? And I had to give him a partial refund because he repaired it, and I asked for that money, and they sent me a PayPal payment. So yeah, it just always sucks. You know, you can get denied for any reason. And you're like, I paid for this insurance, you know?
Hey guys, this is Lori in Oklahoma, and I have a question regarding packing slips. I am currently looking at ways to speed up my shipping process, and I've been considering whether or not to include the packing slips in my packages. If you have any ideas or anything, that would be great. Thanks.
I include a packing slip, and what I do is I print it on half a sheet. I just call it like the invoice or whatever, invoice packing slip. It's smaller. It fits on half a sheet now, so that actually saves me a lot of paper every year. And I put it in mostly because I want an extra piece of information that has the address that it's being shipped to, because I want to make sure that if the label gets messed up, the post office can open the package and see the address. Now, I don't know how often that happens, but ever since I started mailing stuff, like whenever, my mom was always like, write the address down on a little index card with a phone number and put it inside the package.
I think it's good too. I mean, I don't know.
So I do that.
I don't know how much extra time it takes. It's good too, because I think people buy a lot of stuff online and they just get some random box.
Yeah.
And there's an item in there, and I don't know. It's just like, where did I get this? So if you just have a packing slip, it just shows like, this was your order.
The other thing too about the packing slips is what I do is, so I pull everything in the morning. I have like an IKEA bag full of stuff from my storage up in my office, and I have a stack of invoices. I do this for Broad Porch too. I print out the invoices and I know what I'm packing. Okay, this is a sweater going to Texas. They paid for priority. That's my next step. Okay, now I'm printing a label. Now that one's done. Like, it's a list. It's a to-do list. So I find that very helpful. For a long time, I didn't do that, and I would write it down. Okay, sweater to Texas, priority. Why am I writing it down? Just print it off the computer. Like, the information's already there. So I find it very helpful. Some people think it's wasteful and a waste of time.
Does it take a lot of time?
No. It doesn't take a lot of time for me, but I also find it to be a helpful step.
Yeah,
so it's essential for me to do it. I do that with Broad Porch too, because I'll print out the stack of stuff we need to do and I just go through it. I'm like, oh, I need this coffee. It needs to be ground. Okay, this is my packing list. It's going here. I find it very helpful.
Yeah.
Hi, Scavenger Life. This is Laura from Seattle. I've been listening to your podcast for a few years now. So thanks for all the info and entertainment. Anyway, I had a quick question about something you mentioned a few shows ago. You were talking about parting stuff out and mentioned selling the accordion part of an AC that you bought for a rental. And I was just wondering what you record as your cost basis for that, just $0, or do you do some sort of calculation to come up with another figure? This year I've done, a few similar transactions and also just selling things from around my house. Due to the pandemic, I wasn't able to source. So, recently maybe 2/3 of my store, is just stuff from around my house. So I was wondering if, or what other people are doing with that. Is that $0 for my COGS? Do I dig out old receipts and record a loss? But that feels kind of weird. Or do I just exclude those from my taxes, which also seems really weird? Anyway, any advice is welcome. Thanks so much. Take care.
Yeah, so for an item like that, I would price it out based on how much you would have to buy that item for. It's a part that the company sells. So I would do a little less than that. Even though I bought the AC unit, but if I had to replace it, I'm like, okay, it was $12.
So she's asking about how to price it.
How to do the COGS.
Okay.
Because you're you bought this AC unit for a different reason. You're selling parts off of it.
Gotcha.
You could say $0 because you're it's just bonus.
Yeah.
I didn't need it as part of my setup.
Yeah. I think for a lot of things, we aren't maybe like other people where they're doing every little thing. If something doesn't really cost us anything, we don't really...
It is kind of $0.
We don't really... claim it because it's kind of just free money to us.
Yeah, I mean, you could look up the cost of the item retail, but then again, it kind of didn't cost you anything. So it's a good question.
Yeah.
I think
other
go too
people,
crazy on that.
I think there would be other people that would be able to answer better than us.
Hey, how's it going? Scavenger Life. This is Horizon Picks on eBay. Hey, listen, just wanted to call, not to be a Debbie Downer the week of Christmas, but as per your recent podcast there, just had my first late shipment case closed in the buyer's favor. So complete just non-working of the system of eBay with the shipping delays. For some reason amongst, gosh, I'd probably say dozens of items at this point that are still a week to 2 weeks behind. This one, eBay just never read my tracking number correctly from the beginning. They always said tracking not provided, which again, pasting it into the form and updating along the way. The case closed. I went to appeal, deny, and then I just went back again to see if I could get the defect removed and was told no, basically. So very strange. The system kind of failed on that one. And I just wonder how many other sellers are just dealing with this. I know eBay had put out some kind of email that they were going to kind of review this. I hope that once this stuff fades off, they will make some adjustments. What do you guys think? Totally something outside the control of the seller, and basically buyers getting stuff for free and costing sellers. It's a bummer.
So I would say, I don't know if you have a Anchor store. If you have an Anchor store, you should definitely call the Anchor support and say, what's up with this? Because here's my tracking and it's et cetera, et cetera. If you don't have Anchor support, I don't know what it's like to get anyone on the phone right now, but there is an eBay for Business Facebook place where you can message. Just Google eBay for Business Facebook account, and you should be able to message them and get someone to help you, because with what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, they should have read your tracking and given you extra time at this point, because this is a recent call. I mean, he just called. Right. So he just called today. So they should cover you for that. So you should appeal that for sure any way you can.
So I have a buddy who he shipped $100 like smoking pipe to somebody. Yeah.
Like a tobacco pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And vintage.
It didn't get there for a long time. The buyer was like, give me back my money. God. So he did, because he was a good guy. But then he saw that the item actually got to the buyer. Oh, man. So he messaged the buyer like, oh, so I see that you got it. And then the buyer was like, well, just send me an invoice, So he sent him another invoice, and then the buyer just ghosted him. And he's like, what do I do? And I was just like, well, kind of the problem is you gave him back his money too soon. Right. And I don't know. I was just like, I guess you just got to call eBay and see if they will honor that conversation or honor the fact that you gave him a refund, but he also got the item. I don't know what eBay would do. Now,
did his customer open an item not received case, or just a message?
Sound like it. I don't know the details, but
so that's hard, because
he's a little bit of he's kind of still a newbie too.
I know that's tough. I think also people get nervous because they're like, negative feedback, at this point, I'm sort of like, I don't care. Right. Although if someone opened an item not received case, and you provide free returns and stuff, you should not be able to get, you should be able to get negative feedback removed, if not removed automatically. Yeah. So, the whole situation sucks. Like, it's tough for your buyer. It's tough for the sellers. It's tough for eBay. It's tough for the post office workers. Like, it all around is just a nightmare.
So let's quickly talk about coffee, because that's exciting to us right now in our lives.
Yes.
A couple things. Christmas is coming, and we've been having a lot of I'm just amazed. Coffee seems to be a good gift. So
it's a great gift.
Of good sales. Not only sales online, but sales in store, in the Harrisonburg store. I'm starting to realize, like, wow, yeah, so retailers really do depend on Christmas sales.
They do, yeah.
It's pretty incredible to me. But now it's going to be interesting to see.
Will sales?
As holidays wind down.
Yeah.
Will sales wind down, Or,
I'm hoping that, okay, this is what I'm hoping. People got Broad Porch coffee for presents. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this coffee's great. I should order it now.
Yeah. Right. Well,
right? I hope.
We hear from all these people who are like, I've never drank coffee and it's my life. I hate coffee. It's interesting. Like, where are the people who actually love coffee?
I know. It's like, are you here?
Who are like us, where we're drinking, 2 pounds every 2 weeks, like a pound a week of coffee.
Yeah. Oh, they're out there. They're just satisfied with their coffee.
So a couple things where I'm excited because, the team has been working hard.
Yes.
Sometime probably end of January, early February, we're going to have new bags and new labels.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like, if you got our coffee, it's like kind of punk rock. It's like this label.
It's like DIY, handwritten label.
And we handwrite and we put the
which is
a releasing date, and it's great. But we are having like really nice. It's going to look still punk rock, but it's going to be cool.
Trust me, everyone's so excited.
It's also going to make it, again, as a different kind of business, it's going to be much easier to pack everything. And because I'm the bagger, so I weigh the beans and put them in the bag, and I write the labels, and I, help seal it. And it's a lot of work. But with pre-printed bags and pre-printed labels, you'll just slap it on.
That's right. We don't have to write it every time.
Yeah,
we'll stamp the date. We'll stamp the date. That's the.
But I think it's also going to up the look.
It's going to up the look. So it's funny selling on eBay where you're like, here's the item that you're buying, but for a commodity food item, you're marketing not like the brown beans. Mm-hmm. You're marketing the front of the package. You know, it's such a different thing to think about. You know. So it's been fascinating just working on, the label design, and it's such a different world. But so we're roasting today. It's Sunday because Christmas is this week, and
we got a bunch. I was just doing the order log while we're doing the podcast. Excuse me, and
multitasking.
We're trying to multitask, and we're trying to get all these out for tomorrow morning, hoping they get there.
They won't.
We'll see. Well, at least we'll try.
Yeah, but it's great because we have really seen the volume go up for Christmas, and a lot of it's Scavengers.
And I will say our partners Phil and Jill, they ordered a bunch of merch, which I thought was cool. So if you go to broadporchcoffee.com/merch, there's a long sleeve shirt and there's a hoodie that if
anyone needs to look cool coffee gear.
Yeah. I have the long sleeve shirt.
And I have a hoodie.
Which I think is cool. It's black. And it says small victories along the sleeves. That's kind of our motto.
That's the motto.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yep.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. This podcast. Anything else?
It's Christmas this week, so we're not going to talk to people again till after Christmas.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. I hope you guys have a nice holiday.
Stay home, be safe.
Hope you're still shipping stuff. You're tracking stuff at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Understand we're here. We get it, but just
we get it.
Keep going.
Do it.
Long term.
Yep. Item not received case.
Big picture.
Appeal it.
Okay. This podcast is ending in
3, 2, 1. Bye.